Sure, they got the 2 points, but did that game really pass the smell test? Smell test? What's
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
It's gonna be the whole video, isn't it? Yeah.
Let's go!
Give me what I want!
Kick down the door!
Drew, you are not doing this!
What?
Not nice! There's a giant head!
You hear yourself?
I made like 2,000 of these. I'd like to have fun. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR.
Victory, puppies! That's right, come get your milk bony jabroni!
Oh, it never gets rusty. Leafs win 3-2 over the Washington Capitals. Because this team only knows how to do both extremes, never anything in the middle. Yesterday, they go down with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, tie it 40 seconds later, only to blow the game with 18 seconds left. And today, thank you to Sportsnet Stats, the Leafs set a franchise record by winning their 7th straight home opener. Meaning Matthews and Marner in their entire careers so far have not lost a home opener. And actually, neither has William Nylander, because even though he debuted the season before, he wasn't with the team from the beginning of the season onward. Silly, stupid, stupendous, and despite never knowing what this team is going to throw at you, want to bet? You can do it at Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook. See how I slid that in there? Whether your season's done after 1 game or on the parade route after 2, bet before the game live in play or one of their many prop bets. Made for Canadians by Canadians, Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now and see all sports betting has to offer. Head to sportsinteraction.com/STPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/STPN. It's Ontario only, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Let's talk about this game that I wasn't so sure about it midway through it in terms of energy and entertainment value, and by the end of it, it became a barn burner. Not in terms of goal scoring, there were only 5 goals, which is fewer than yesterday. Gosh, we've played a lot of hockey over the last 24 hours, but the physicality, the nastiness, there was some real hate in this game. Playoff vibes. 2 teams in a bad mood with a bee in their bonnet who lost their season opener the night before with something to prove. And in the end, at least for tonight, the Leafs proved they were the better team. And to start the game, the Leafs were definitely the better team, except for 2.5 minutes in, Calle Yarncroke takes a holding the stick penalty. Leafs taking way too many penalties to start the season. But after killing the Calle Yarncroke penalty, Matthews draws a penalty and heads on the power play with his band of merry men. And it was an amazing power play. The thing just wouldn't go in because it was a fire drill. It wasn't because of the Washington Capitals. Caps fans, you are not going to like hearing this, but the Montreal Canadiens penalty kill looked a lot better, but what held the Capitals in it was Charlie Lindgren, the most confusing goalie ever, who went from virtual non-option in Montreal to completely unbeatable in St. Louis, so the Washington Capitals have him as their actual backup goalie behind Darcy Kemper to start the season, and he gets a shot in Game 2. How's this gonna go? Well, it became obvious early in this power play that they were gonna need a greasy one. And how's this for greasy? Morgan Rielly gets one, and he's got an open lane to pass to John Tavares' stick. Can't do stick. What do you mean we can't do stick? Stick machine's out of order. What, I don't know, foot and Aaron skate? We can do an Aaron skate. Do you know if it's a kick? Do you know if it's a kick? Fair enough, just give it to me. And they do! The captain, John Tavares, scores, and the Leafs are up 1-0 off of PPG. But in short order, the Caps tie it. Leafs doing a little bit of scrambling of their own, except 5-on-5, and they've been doing a lot of that through the first 4 periods. I'm extremely concerned. Just kidding, by this point it was only 3.5. Eric Gustafsson fires an amazing pass, to give him credit, right to Nick Dowd, who's sort of got a piece of it. He got a piece! And he made a few saves before that, and he made an almost save here, but they don't count those, and the goal, it's a goal, and that's okay. That's okay! Ilya Samsonov allows one against his former team, and we don't need to panic because, I mean, even the best goalies in the league are going to allow goals. Who's panicking? I'm not panicking. You're not panicking. No one's panicking. Almost exactly 4 minutes later, Marcus Johansson beats him clean, and I am absolutely panicking! Yes, Marcus Johansson does snipe at top cheese, but it was stinky rogota. Here's what happens. The Leafs turn it over in the neutral zone. That's bad. Leafs try to prevent the Caps from gaining the zone, but the Caps gain the zone. That's also bad. But here's what's good. Morgan Rielly, the Leafs' top defenseman, is back. He read the play perfectly. He knew they were in trouble, and he got back. Good for him. Until about 1 second later, and the screenshot isn't going to illustrate this perfectly, but he is standing completely still in a spot that is not helpful at all. Here's the spot where the shot eventually comes from, and yes, I agree with all of you that that's a goal that Samsonov has to have every single time that needs to be a save. But just like one of Cole Caulfield's goals from the night before, I have no idea what Morgan Rielly is doing there, and it's nothing helpful. And if you're wondering if Rielly was like watching for the pass, which I think he sort of was, this is like a second or two after the goal. He had oodles of help with him. I don't know why he didn't at least try to... I guess he doesn't want to screen Samsonov, but do something, man. And now the Leafs are down 2-1, and here's what we've got. We're not even a full game plus 14 minutes into this season, and Matt Murray didn't look very good, and Ilya Samsonov does not look very good. The top line has been scored on at 5-on-5 at least 3 times in 4 periods, and the team's top defenseman in Morgan Rielly has left wide open lanes at least twice. None of it is good enough, and we're going to fixate on the goaltending, or at least we were going to when the Leafs were losing this game, but it's just not good enough, especially from the big guys. And I tweeted, hey, John Tavares, out of the big guys, pulling his weight. And you could throw William Nylander in there too, even though he hasn't had the best puck luck. It feels like he could have a goal or two by now. But the top line and Rielly haven't been good enough. Your best players need to be the best in order to win. And I know you might be saying, oh, it's only 2 games in. I'm not worried at all. Liar, liar, pants arsonist. You're not worried at all? You're not worried at all. No, the Leafs have just blanket across the board earned the benefit of the doubt. You're right. And that is how we went to intermission. The Leafs are losing to this team. They don't have Nicholas Backstrom. He's out with an injury. And the Caps don't even have Tom Wilson. The Leafs are out there getting driven nuts by wish Tom Wilson, Garnet Hathaway. Him distracting Michael Bunting was a big part of the first goal. Stars aren't playing well. They can't get a save. Oof, Maroon! But then something happened. I, like I'm sure mostly all of you, was watching the game. Something like this. Oh my gosh, it'd be nice to get a say. Is that The Rock? And it was very The Rock! Here he is! Here he is on the screen. I know it says 1-1 there. Shut up. Now look at him! That's the actual Rock! With the... It's just not a big enough jacket, Mr. Dwayne. It's not at all. It's The Rock, the actual Rock, promoting a movie, but he's in Scotiabank Arena, unannounced. And he starts a chant. You know that chant, Leafs Nation. It's the one near and dear to our hearts. Let's go, Leafs! Let's go, Leafs! And everyone in attendance did the exact same thing. That's not the chant at all. Let's go, Leafs! Because it's The Rock! What, are you gonna correct him? Even Austin Matthews didn't know! Here's what he said. It was a TV timeout. I'm minding my own business, and then The Rock comes flying in out of nowhere. Right? And so it's 1-1 when that happens, and then the Capitals go up 2-1. And listen, the Leafs lost their first game of the season. That's bad, and they feel bad about it. Sheldon Keefe called their effort in game 1 unacceptable, and that's bad, and they felt bad about it. And now they're losing their home opener, and that's bad, and I hope they felt bad about it. But those are all pretty run-of-the-mill things. Sometimes you're gonna lose your first game. Sometimes you're gonna lose your second game. You're not gonna win every home opener. Sometimes your coach is gonna get kind of mad at you. Those things happen all the time. It's gonna happen in your career. You gotta get over it if you're gonna have a career. But you know what even the Leafs haven't done much of in their career? Lost in front of The Rock. And I know exactly what they said at intermission. Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews stand up and they say, boys, we are not losing this game in front of the guy from Jumanji. And the whole locker room went nuts. They went, yeah! Except for Mark Giordano in the corner, who's like, Jumanji? That's what you know The Rock from? How old are you? And the answer's younger than you, Mark, but it's part of your charm. And so they get to work. Less than 4 minutes in, one of the most infuriating players on this roster gets to work. Alexander Kerfoot. Man, that guy drives me up a wall. Because he'll have a bunch of 5-on-5 shifts where he looks incredibly busy the whole time. And for a guy who is moving more than anyone else on the ice, I can't believe how little is happening right now. But then he'll generate a penalty shot and take a fairly costly penalty and then do a bunch of busy nothing again and then go on an amazing odd man rush leading to a goal. Rasmus Sandin getting on the action, giving it to Mr. Kerfoot in question, passes it to Calle Yarncroc, who scores his first goal as a Toronto Maple Leaf, and Calle Yarncroc, the Rock. There's no shoehorn big enough. The shoehorn is a crowbar. But I thought it was very fitting. Ties the game with his first as a Leaf. Wrap it in tape and get right back to work because you're only tied. And the rest of the game was what you make of it. Because the Leafs were out shooting Washington 21-11 after 1 and losing after 1 because Of course. Do you ever get process fatigue? I get process fatigue. Hey boys, let's stick to the process. I got a better idea. How about you kiss my ass? Actually, both of you guys have points. But by the end of the game, I forget that the Leafs won. The Leafs outshot Washington 39-26. That's extremely good. But after tying the game at 2, the Leafs took 4 consecutive penalties. That's very bad. In the second period, it was Justin Hall. And in the third period, it was Jake Muzzin, Nicolas Aube-Kubel, and Mitch Marner. All 4 of those dudes kill penalties. And Marner with 41 seconds left. Are you trying to actually cause me to expire? I was on the phone with someone when it happened. They're like, they got this. Like they didn't blow the game with 18 seconds left the night before. Nobody is like Leaf fans, nobody. But they couldn't help but take penalties. Because the Rock was rolling downhill and there was no way to stop it. They had already made a pact with each other. We are not losing this game in front of the Rock. And we are not losing this game in front of the millions and millions of the Leafs fans. And in the third period, even if they got a little overzealous with it at times, they went attitude era on Washington. Matthews was throwing huge hits. Engvall getting stunnered by Orlov. But even Matthews fighting back with hits of his own. Mark Giordano fires it on. Matthews with the tip. Lindgren bobbles it like a jabroni. And it goes in the net because we are not losing with the Rock in the building. Oh, broke my friggin' forearm. So even though the Leafs spent way too much of the third period and the dying minutes of the third period on the penalty kill, it doesn't matter about your penalty kill. Ilya Samsonov, rocky start, rockin' finish. Wins the game for Toronto, their 7th straight home opener victory, and they split their season opening back-to-back. I'm fried. Listen, you're gonna allow stinkers. I didn't feel great after Samsonov allowed that stinker. But he did something in this game that the Leafs have kind of had a difficult time with at times over the last few years, and that's recover with poise. And it led to his first victory as a Toronto Maple Leaf. Question. This isn't a question, it's just hilarious from Luke Fox. High danger chances in period 1, Maple Leafs 11, Capitals 0. Score after the first period was 2-1 Washington. Oof. They won. The Leafs won that game. This wasn't asked under the question where I asked for questions, but I wanted to talk about it anyway. Why would the coach and GM play Samsonov versus his old team? They literally know all his weaknesses. They replaced Samsonov with Lindgren, an ex-Habs goalie. Here's how I look at it, because believe me, I've been talking about how I think the Leafs are going to have a rocky October because their schedule it's awful. Back-to-back to start, 3 games in 4 nights, and the month ends with 5 games on the road. Boo. But I also noticed, okay, Matt Murray's probably going to get game 1, which means Samsonov is probably going to get game 2, which means Matt Murray is probably going to get game 3, which means Samsonov is going to play his first game as a Leaf against his old team, and Matt Murray is going to play his first hockey night in Canada as a Leaf against his former team. Oh, feels like you could maybe put them in a better position to succeed. And here's where the nature versus nurture conflict. You want to put players, you want to put people in a position to succeed. You do. That's nurture. Nature asks, are you good enough to succeed? Yes or no. You're on the Leafs, man. They haven't won a cup since 1967. They haven't won a playoff series since 2004. How about you battle through some adversity and we see how you do? If you don't do so great, maybe we'll set you up a little bit better next time. But it's an 82-game season and this is game 2, so we're just going to throw a bunch of you in the pool and see who floats. Not the nicest thing to do, but Ilya floated. Makes whoever he plays next seem a little bit less daunting. J-Money, was this a representation of tonight's game? Where do you find these? Where did I get grass stains? Why? That is a Stone Cold Steve Austin looking outfit there, J-Money. When Samsonov plays good, should his name change to Samson on? Boo, tomato. Can you refer a therapist? I can, but mine's usually busy. Usually between October and June. Well, April. How do I go to bed after a win? I don't remember. Easy answer, you don't remember. Because you don't. So for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Saturday nights on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle. It'll be live watching the Leafs versus Sens. And link in the description down below or wherever producer Drew puts it because he's a smarter guy than I. Easter Seals, we're raising money for a charity that helps out kids with physical disabilities. It is near and dear to my heart. You guys are legends. We've raised over $7,000 so far. very quickly. I have a goal of 50,000 and we're all going to blow through that goal. We are going to smash it over the head. We are going to lay it the smacketh down and then we're going to go beyond.